Ladies and gentlemen, if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. So help me God.
So help you God.
So help me God. So help me God.
What's up, Civil Church? How y'all doing this morning? Y'all any Saints fans up in here today? Any Saints fans up here? Who dat? Man, we gonna have some fun with Chris Reese. Thanks for being here. Get up, get up, get up.
Bombarded by philosophies to satisfy the surface, I flee to something deeper at the risk of seeking purpose. How can I hang in this environmental state of being when everything I'm fighting for is nothing that I'm seeing?
Won't you take my heart? Won't you take my soul? Won't you come and make me whole again? You got what I need, and you'll never retreat. Unto you I will concede. So help me God.
To put my faith in you.
So help me God.
Before I come unglued.
Calling my addiction, I can't get enough of you. So help me God.
To put my faith in you. Come on, Daniel. Let me see it. Get up, get up, get up.
Infected by the skin I'm in, you're starting with desire. And Jesus ain't the latest thing to come across the wire. I throw myself at mercy, for I am the chief of sinners. The daily taking up my cross has brought itself some splinters.
You there when I call, and you're there when I fall. Even though I don't deserve it all, yeah. You got what I need, and you'll never retreat. Unto you I will concede. So help me God.
To put my faith in you.
So help me God.
Before I come unglued.
Calling my addiction, I can't get enough of you. So help me God.
Put my faith in you. Keep on.
Won't you take my heart? Won't you take my soul? Won't you come and make me whole again? You got what I need, and I never retreat. Unto you I will concede. So help me God.
Put my faith in you.
So help me God.
Before I come unglued.
Calling my addiction, I can't get enough of you. So help me God.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
You are the one I love.
You are the one I need.
You are the one I'm seeking.
You are the one for me. You are the one I love. You are the one I need. You are the one I'm seeking. You are the one for me. What is up, Simple Church? How y'all doing this morning? Come on, let me hear you. What? Yeah, there you go, man. Listen, we are so excited you're here today, man. Are y'all ready for a good time today? You ready to have a good time? What? That sounded like 4 of you. The rest of you, y'all ready to have a good time? Let me hear you one time. Yeah, there you go. All right, listen, it is going to be a special day because we have some special guests coming, man. You already know this, but Chris Reese is here. Mike Reese is here. Go ahead and let them know you're glad that they made it here to Louisiana back again. Yep. All right, man, here's the deal. Let me get to a couple announcements out of the way. First thing is this. If you're a guest, man, thanks for risking it and coming in and fighting the parking and all the stuff you've had to put up with, dude. It means the world to us that you would give us a little bit of your time. So somebody right now, y'all turn to the people next to you and say, dude, thanks for getting here today. Give them a little shout out. Tell them they looking good. Give them a shout out. Tell them, man, you look good today, all right? Now, this is the thing I want you to do next. If you're a guest, man, they handed you a communication card, a bulletin. It's got all kind of information on the inside. But what I want you to do is fill out the very back. Put your email address at least. The reason why is we will email you about special events just like today. We changed our service times up today. We did a 9:30 and 11, and usually it's 9, 10, and 11. That's the kind of thing we email out. We let you know what's going on so that you're not frustrated by it and you can, again, take part in some of the cool things we have to offer here at the Simple Church. So make sure you fill it out and then drop it in one of the giving stations on your way out. If you have prayer requests, needs, whatever it may be, write it down on there for us, all right? The other thing, we have a special treat for you. Did you know that World of Wheels is next door, huh? Did y'all see all those cars, all that going on? Let me hear you. Did you know that? Yeah. Well, here's the special. You and your whole family with our bulletin can go in for $20. Normally it's $14 an adult and $6 a child. You can take as many as you want. Your family, you know who that is. You take them in $20, man, with your bulletin. You all get in for that. So make sure you take advantage of that. Jacob Hester's going to be over there in a little while. So again, come and spread that Louisiana football love. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So go over there, take advantage of it. But today, right here in this room, we are going to take you back to one of the greatest times in the history of this state, and that is when your New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl. Anybody remember that? Yeah, man, that's what today is all about. Again, it's going to be a great time. You're going to hear some inside stuff. You're going to get to meet them, man. It's going to be a really, really special time. And don't forget this. Tonight, they're coming back at 6 o'clock. Chris and his dad, Mike, will be upstairs in Ballroom B. So make sure you make plans to be here and take advantage of that. 6 o'clock tonight. We'd love to do it. That's when they're going to do a meet and greet. They'll have stuff to sign. We're going to answer a few more questions. It'll be a special time. So make sure you, again, mark your calendars. Get here tonight, 6 o'clock. All right? So just to kind of set up the day, because again, it's been a while since you've been to the Super Bowl, and don't bring up how long it's been for the Cowboys to be there. I know it's much longer, all right? I get that. But just to refresh your memory, we're going to go back and get an inside look at exactly the play that changed everything, the one that Chris Reese was a part of, and that is, again, the onside kick right after halftime. So get ready. Let's go back and see what this ambush play is all about. From the NFL Network, here it is, a deep inside look at exactly what happened. Check it out.
Saints trailing 10-6, and will be kicking the football away to begin the second half.
All right, here's the kickoff, and it's an onside kick, and the Saints, I think, have it.
How did the Saints pull off the greatest heist in Super Bowl history? Before we get into the evolution of the play called ambush, here's a look at the key players involved. Chris Reese is the third-year safety who wasn't supposed to recover the ball. Thomas Morstead is the rookie punter who had never before tried an onside kick. Sean Payton is the head coach, willing to gamble in the biggest game of his life. And Bill Parcells is the mentor who pulled off a similar stunt in the past.
Competing against Peyton Manning, we felt we needed to gain a possession somehow prior to the Super Bowl. I had a chance to visit with Bill Parcells, and he drew some comparisons to the championship game in 1990. They had run a fake punt against the 49ers late in the game.
Oh, a fake. It's going to be a fake. They run across the 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. What a run by Gary Reasons.
The Giants won in an upset. So the start to this ambush really was as a fake punt. To Indianapolis's credit, we just couldn't find the look that we wanted. So we went down the other road with an onside kick.
I'd never kicked off before this year, and so I'd never had an onside kick, but they wanted it to be a surprise, so we just started working on it, and I saw one from game film that Alinda Moray had done a couple years ago, and I did it perfectly the first time we ran it in practice, and Coach just called it ambush right then, and it stuck.
We had long discussions about it, probably 2 or 3 different times. I told him, I said, when it's over and everybody's gone home
And the confetti has stopped falling and the reporters are gone.
when you're upstairs in your room by yourself, you got to be able to say, hey, Peyton, I did everything I could do to win
that
the
game. Because if not, it'll haunt you for the rest of your life.
Those words echoed into the Super Bowl, where the Saints trailed 10-6 at the half.
Coming off the field at halftime, you know, you've got 35 minutes here of The Who. And somewhere between Teenage Wasteland and Pinball Wizard, we decided that this was going to be the time to run this.
Hey, pay attention now. One quick thing. We're going to start this half kicking off. All right, ambush. Roman Harper, you recover it, right? I don't want this thing going out of bounds.
We had been told we'd run fakes earlier in the year, and we never ran them. And so I've never had a panic attack, but my heart rate, it just skyrocketed, just thinking I could help change the outcome of this game.
My first thought was, man, I don't know if this is the right time for this. I for sure wasn't for it, but I was like, hey, I hope it works.
Okay, what did you tell your guys at halftime? Hey, it's right here for us. Let's go.
Halftime ended, we had gone out, and I began to notice right away that they're teeing this thing up like we had talked, but the problem was going to be that this was going to be recovered on the Colts bench, and you would never want to do that. Quickly, I had a chance to just tell the officials, hey, we want to go right to left, not left to right.
Let's do this. Let's go this way. I want to go this way. Yeah.
Because if there is a mosh pit like what happened, you want to get any jump ball.
So the Saints will kick it away, trailing 10-6. Thomas Morstead steps into the football, and it's an onside kick. And it's going to be covered up by Chris Reese, I believe. They're still fighting for it. No indication as yet.
We got it. We got it. We got it.
Really, I wasn't supposed to recover the ball. All week it had been Roman Harper that would recover the ball, and I kind of looped behind just in case it popped out or something like that.
I don't know if Chris Reese was able to get on that ball, but, I mean, he certainly had it.
I remember seeing Chris Reese have it, but he started to lose it between the back of his legs. Hank Baskett came in there and looked like he was going to be able to pry it from him. And then Jonathan Casillas came and speared Hank Baskett. And I think that's what allowed Chris to really get control of the ball.
Still a battle down there, still a scrum as players are separated.
You get out of here! You get out of here! You get out of here!
And I've never seen a pileup like that. I've never seen it take that long to pull everybody off the pile.
Hey, we got the ball!
But the fact that it was taking place on our sideline, that was big. So many guys, you know, Saints ball, Saints ball.
Jeremy Shockey says it's the Saints ball. The officials have made no declaration yet.
I remember the ref was kneeing on me, and I could hear him say, blue ball. I remember looking up, I'm like, what are you talking about? I have the ball right here. There's no reason to say blue ball.
White ball! White ball!
I held on to that ball until the last second. I was like, I'm coming out in pile with that ball no matter what.
White ball!
There's the first indication. The Saints fooled them to begin the second half with an onside kick and came away with it.
The scrum lasted 63 seconds. 6 plays later, the Saints scored their first touchdown on their way to a Super Bowl upset.
The miracle in Miami has happened. The Saints have won the Super Bowl.
Great job. That's one of the gutsiest Super Bowls by any coach ever.
Monday morning, the day after the Super Bowl, I called Bill up, and this was something he would do. You know, he would answer the phone, and it would never be hello. It would just be a statement. And so he answered the phone, and he said, welcome to the club. There's only 28 coaches that have won a Super Bowl. Welcome to the club.
That's right. Special. Special.
What started as a conversation ended with the Saints' first ever championship and a trip to the White House.
After the game, I make some tough decisions every day, but I never decided on an onside kick in the second half of the Super Bowl. That took some guts. Were you okay with that? Did he check off with you? Yeah. I'm glad that thing went all right.
It's crazy. You know, this could be the play that's played back every year. Pretty special feeling.
Did you get to keep the ball?
I did not get to keep the ball. So I give it to my equipment guy, and I said, hey, hang on to this ball. I mean, everybody wants that ball. And I went to him the next day. I said, hey, do you have that Super Bowl ball that I recovered? And he said, no. An official came up, and they took it to the Hall of Fame, and it's actually in the Hall of Fame right now. So that may be my only chance to get into Hall of Fame, but I'm glad to donate it. Without a doubt, the gutsiest play in Super Bowl history.
All right, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your New Orleans Saint, Mr. Chris Reese. Come on, everybody! Guys in this fight, you can like it or not. Yeah, there he is right there, baby. Yeah. Throw some stuff out there, man. Give him a little t-shirts right there, huh? Come on, y'all. Get that hype up. On your feet. Come on, y'all. Come on. All right, here's the deal. Anybody want a football? Here, sign some football. Throw this stuff out there. Hold on a second. Let's see if we can get that going, all right? Listen, are you excited that they're here today? One more time, huh? All right. Have a seat. All right, I got an idea. All right, dude, this may be a little crazy for you. I mean, because just looking at you, you don't look like you're in shape. I'm just saying.
It's true.
As a guy who is a specimen, I'm just saying.
This is your pastor, honestly? Really?
You know, you keep working, son. You keep working. So what I was thinking is this.
You're so humble.
Yeah, I understand. You just keep working with me. Here's what I want you to know is, I know you love Drew Brees, right?
Yeah,
come on.
good buddy.
Yeah, good buddy. All right,
Yeah.
and he's got an okay arm.
Yeah, it's all right.
I mean, Tony Romo, not Tony Romo. He's not a Tony Romo.
No, and I'm glad he's not, honestly.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So what I thought was, just to have a little fun, anybody want a signed football by your boy here, huh? You see all these people, they're saying, yeah, man, I want it. So what I was thinking is let's just have a little contest. Mano y mano.
Okay.
Okay, man on man.
Okay.
I'm going to throw my ball, and I have a feeling, because I just feel good today, that I can get right through that back door.
Through the back door?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they may sign me. I mean, you know people. Just tell them don't call me when this is over, because I got a lot of tough gig.
You already have a job. Yeah, I get it.
So then the question is do you think you can get it further than me? Because everybody in the front row gets stuff, but anybody in the back row wants something today, huh? See? They're back in the back.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So are y'all ready?
How about we do this instead?
Okay.
Why don't we toss a ball on the ground and see if you can get it the best? You want to do that?
Hold on. I was thinking. Hold on.
Well, let's just see. Hey, you stand there, I stand here. We'll toss it and see who gets it first.
I think I'm out on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Whew, thank God. All right, let's just go. All right, on the count of three, we're going to throw, and then again, if you want in the back, I need to hear you right now. You got to.
At the same time?
Yeah, same time. The reason I want to go same time is I don't want you to see me really when I throw. All right.
You know what? That's probably good. I don't
Right.
want to see
All
you
right.
throw
Here we
it
go.
either.
Ready? All right.
Okay,
One.
who's going to be the judge of this?
The crowd, son.
Okay, the
This
crowd.
is the crowd. The crowd is always the judge. Am I right? What?
What was I thinking?
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Just don't get your finger hung in that skew. All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh!
Who won?
All right. Who won? Whatever. Come on. Give it up for both of us. Come on.
I know. I'm hurting too.
I threw my arm out. All right, sit down so we can get going. Oh, before we do that, we got to get Dad up here. The man, there would be no Chris without the Dad. Give it up for Mr. Mike Reese. Come on. Pop,
Love
my
it.
bad, man.
Pops.
My bad. I got so excited, man.
Pop's in the house.
Dude.
He thought he beat me, so he got really excited.
Yeah,
so.
dude, I got to try to work it out.
Yeah, I know.
All right, listen, man, it is really cool to have you here. Thank you for coming. And I know that there are so many questions out there, so we're going to try to cover a lot. But just as a reminder again, they're coming back tonight, 6 o'clock upstairs.
Yep.
And first, it's the book. If you have not seen the book, this is what it looks like. And the reason I say that, it's sold out already. The first hour wiped all of the books out. But here is the good news for you. RecoveryOfALifetime.com is where you can buy the book, and they'll still give you the $20 special, and they're going to personalize it for you. So if you order online, they're going to personalize it. They'll sign it for you, just like, again, if you were here, they would make that happen for you. So give it up to them for being kind to you like that. What? Sold out in the first hour.
Thank you.
We'll get into the book in a minute, but it really is pretty cool. But can we go back a little bit, and let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
How crazy of an event is that, man? What is the Super Bowl like, really, for us that will
Yeah.
never know? You know, what's it like?
The regular people, as
Yes.
we call them. No. It's a zoo, guys. I can't even tell you. I think every single day that we had practice, every single day of the entire week, we had media day. Now, you have one big media day, and it's like this huge conference room, and interviewers and reporters and every TV from all over the world come, and you just stand with your jersey, and they're just come up to you, ask you questions. And honestly, you know, I wasn't a big name guy before the Super Bowl. I was just a role player. I was fine with that. I probably had 2 people come up to me, honestly, and they asked about my hair. They'd be like, "So, how is your hair? Why is it long?" You know,
They
and I'm
want to know
like,
if it was Perk Plus or Head and
yeah,
Shoulders.
they're like,
right.
yeah,
I
it's
got you.
more Head and Shoulders, but yeah, hey.
Right, I got it. Now, for you, Dad, same way as Super Bowl. I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, you can imagine as a father, just it's surreal to be at a Super Bowl. I had been to Super Bowls before in my corporate life, but to be there and watching your son, I was probably more nervous than he was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is unreal because there's a lot of hype, a lot of things going into it. But the play that changed everything was the kickoff after halftime. It's called Ambush. You saw a little video to kind of give them a little background. In the locker room, were you nervous?
You know, I think it happened so fast, I didn't really know what to think. And as you saw the video, like, I really wasn't supposed to do anything. I was supposed to be the guy that just watched everybody do it. And I ended up getting in the middle of it. And what the funny story is, I actually didn't know if I was going to even play that game. A lot of people don't realize that there's only 45 guys dressed. There's 53 guys on a roster, but only 45, 46 guys dressed. And so, since I'm a special teams guy, if somebody's hurt or something like that, I would go up and down. I mean, that was just my role, and I accepted it, and I was cool with that. And the week leading up to it, our special teams coach comes up to me, and he says, "Hey, I don't know if you're going to go this week. We have a running back. He may play." And I was like, whatever, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to do my job. I'm going to prepare like I'm going to play. Well, the day before, Coach Payton says, "You're up this week." And I'm like, cool. And,
So the day before?
The day before. And literally, I had
didn't
no
know that.
idea. And it was just, it happened. And what the funny story is, when we were playing the Cardinals, I think that was the first round, I didn't play, and I was really disappointed. I was really geeked up for that game. I sat that game, and I was like, you know, that's fine. I hope we win. Steve Gleason comes into the locker room. We all know Steve. Great dude. Good buddy. And
No white flags. If you don't know about
white
that,
flags.
we'll talk about that a little bit.
And so he comes up to me, and he's like, "You're not playing?" I was like, "No, they sat me because somebody else is hurt." And he's like, "Oh, man, that stings." He's like, "That happened to me all the time." He goes, "Matter of fact, it happened to me the game before I blocked the punt against the Atlanta Falcons." He's like, "You're going to make a big play in this run right here. You're going to make a big play."
That's prophetic.
That's prophetic. Little did I
How
know.
about that?
I mean, it was pretty cool. So.
And if y'all don't know about Steve Gleason, did you play with Steve Gleason, or was it
You know,
before your
I
time?
was transitioning, in and out. Like when he kind of mentored me because I kind of took his spot a little bit towards the tail end of his career.
Right.
So.
And he's the one with ALS, y'all, if y'all don't know anything about that. They just did a new NFL special on that. Just amazing.
Just a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Great cause.
That's a whole other thing. We'll have to talk about that. I'd love to know about that another time.
Definitely.
The other thing is just as a dad from the, what is it like getting, is it hard to get there? Is it hard? I mean, because I know, like I heard on the radio this morning that Peyton Manning was trying to get Eli to get all of his team, the Giants, to sell all their tickets so they could have more people, because each NFL player gets 2 tickets. So they're talking about how hard it was.
That's not true.
That's not necessarily
Not true.
true. Yeah, it wasn't hard for me because I know somebody. I mean, he has, it
this
was
guy?
great.
Yeah.
Actually, this is in the book. Chris was generous enough to buy tickets for the entire family. So the players have access to buy additional tickets. So he bought the tickets, and then we just found our way down there.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, see, and that's the thing. Players have to buy the tickets. So the Super Bowl stuff, we have to buy the tickets. So
whatever they cost?
Whatever they cost, face value. Face
Wee,
value. I know.
Y'all
But he
feel
made
bad
me-
for him on that?
Yeah.
No, y'all don't feel bad
But
for
Justin, he made me buy my own tickets the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
him. Hey, you do what you got to do, right?
No free handouts. Come on.
That's
no
right.
free handouts.
All right, so just real quick, too, on Peyton Manning. I mean, that's who y'all played against in the bowl. Obviously, he has another Super Bowl coming up. Did you ever get a chance to meet him? Ever
No, he was a little upset after the game, Super Bowl. As the confetti was coming down, I saw him walk off, though. So
You didn't go tell him good game?
no,
Yeah.
he came up and he was like, "Great recovery." and
You saw
slapped
his
me on
balding
the
head as he was saying that.
Well, it's pretty cool because, again, he's like, this is a Louisiana
Yeah.
boy. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
people may have that question. They're
Yeah,
trying
he's
to
a
figure
great
that out.
guy. It's funny. Everybody always asks me, do you know Drew Brees? Do you know Reggie Bush? Do you know all these people? And I'm like, they're my teammates. Of course I know them.
Right, sure.
But it's so funny because everybody thinks you know each other in the NFL because it's such a small fraternity.
Right.
But I never got to meet Peyton. I heard he's a great guy, though.
All right, I got one other thing, and again, it just comes to me. And y'all had an amazing run.
Mm-hmm.
You were, undefeated there for a while. But do you remember what happened on December 19th
Yeah, I
of
do.
2009?
I do. Yeah, we lost
Hold
to.
on, hold on a second. No, let me.
We
just-
actually
hold on a
gave
second.
it away.
Oh, wait. Where, somebody stole my jersey? See, this is the way this works right here. No, they didn't
You
steal
hide
my
it
jersey.
under your seat? What is wrong with this
Let me
guy?
tell you what happened on December the 19th of 2009 on that Super Bowl run. The Dallas Cowboys defeated you!
Okay.
Wow.
No, show a picture.
Wow.
No. Show the picture. Yeah, they look something like that.
How?
That is my boy,
Hold
DeMarcus.
on.
That right there is Spencer. I think he's checking.
He's checking on
Are
him.
you
He's
okay,
checking on him. That's
Drew?
very nice.
No, he's thinking about how he's going to get to the Super Bowl.
Are you okay?
I mean, that's great. You guys won a game.
That is so great. I'm so proud of you. That is great. You won one game.
Dude, it was really bad, though, because we were at some friend's house. Y'all, excuse me. Oh, it done ripped my head off. The reason it was so bad is because in this area, we have huge Saints fans. I mean, everybody is like crazy. So we all had a party on that day, and y'all were on the run. You were undefeated.
You're undefeated.
13-0 at that point.
We were glad that you guys beat us, honestly. And the reason I say that, and I honestly, I'm
It
telling
worked
you the
out.
truth, we
Did y'all
actually
hear
kind of
that?
gave it to you guys because I'm being honest right now. This is candid, okay?
Okay.
The reason I said that, we had the angriest undefeated coaches ever. And we would come in, we beat people by 40. I mean, we would be winning, and you would think you're going to come in the film room, and the coach is going to be like, great job, guys, But they were like, really? You gave up 10 points to this team? They were the angriest coaches. As soon as we lost to Dallas, we come in the next day, and they're like, hey, guys, it's okay. It's over. Don't worry about it. And we're like, is this the Twilight Zone? Where are we right now? And it was crazy. So I actually was kind of glad that happened because it didn't really matter.
Well, dude, I was too.
We won
because-
the only thing that counts right there. Boom.
You have one of those?
I'm going to tell you, the reason I was so glad is because, again, while we're in that home, dude, it was tension, baby. And I'm telling you, we barely won. If you remember, we had to sack him last second
I do
to
remember
win
that.
it. So I just appreciate you letting me have my 1 second of fame.
No problem.
Fame.
I want. We gave that to
That's
you
your
guys.
highlight.
All right.
You're welcome.
That was my Super Bowl right then. You realize that, don't you? It's been so long.
That's sad.
I know it is. But they know. Do y'all know how sad it is for me? Come on, let them know. Yeah, you know. Here's the other thing I was going to ask you about is once you won, and again, an amazing moment, because I really did get on the bandwagon. I was like, man, it's pretty special. But then they brought you back, and they treated you like kings. I mean, you're meeting the president. You're going to do a Mardi Gras parade. I mean, it was crazy. What was that like?
Yeah, it was crazy. We had Lombardi Gras, which it's like, I call it Mardi Gras on steroids because I have never seen anything like it in my entire life. We're on this float, and it's this giant ship, and it's just a DB, so like right there, it was awesome. And there's just people galore, and they're climbing up the float just to give us high fives, and I'm not kidding you, we probably ran over 5 people. I kid you not, we ran over, and we were like, doo-doo, and I'm like, we just ran over somebody right there.
Keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah, we kept going, and they would get up and be like, yeah. And like they would be cheering. I'm like, these people are crazy.
See, that's
they have like a
still
tattoo
breathing.
of a tire on their arm, and they're like,
But it was
the
the
arm is
Super
hanging
Bowl.
off.
Yeah.
The arm is dangling off, and they're like, yeah. No.
They'll live.
It was
That's
crazy.
crazy,
It was fun.
man.
It was
It is
fun.
cool.
Oh,
and
man.
again, I just want to say on behalf of all of us that live in this state, dude, we're not known for a lot. I mean, this is the saddest city, trust me, in the U.S. They did a poll recently, saddest city in the U.S.
How do you know that? How do you measure that?
They did it through Twitter. They did it through all email. They're looking at everybody's responses and stuff. So I just got to say, that was one of, if not the most happy times I've ever seen this state. And we owe it to them. Give him a little round of applause. Thank you for helping us, man.
Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
It
that
was
awesome.
special. It really was a
Thank
really,
you
really
so
cool
much.
time.
Thank you.
All right, I also just want to go back to your football years, your
Okay.
early football years. And the reason I want to go back there is because there's a lot of people in sports and young athletics, and they're putting a lot of time and energy into that. When did you start, and what was that like?
Man, I started playing football around 8.
Yeah, not 8, but he started playing sports when he was 4. He would play soccer and t-ball.
I was
and
terrible
all that
at soccer
stuff.
too. I'm not
And
gonna
pretty
lie.
bad
I
at
was
t-ball
terrible
too.
at soccer.
Right?
Yeah, I was bad at t-ball. I didn't want to run the bases.
He didn't want to
That
run.
was my thing.
He refused.
I was scared to run the bases
He
for
was.
some reason.
I'd get out there and go, come on, Chris, we'll run to first. I'm not running.
You're
I'm
not
not.
running.
I'm just not doing it.
So then you played football all the way through middle school?
Yeah, I played football, played basketball, did all those things, and now I was one of those guys that around 8th grade, I was like 6 feet, 200 pounds. Like I'm like my size I am now. So imagine an 8th grader and I was fast and I could move. So
Right.
I was like playing with little kids out there. I'm like stiff arming them, and it just, I grew faster than everybody else, and sports was just fun for me, and I loved it, you know?
Now, Mike, with your deal is because, again, y'all were not together. I mean, you went through some
Yeah.
hard times and stuff, but did you get to see him play much? We'll go into your.
Yeah, I would see him play on occasion. I tried to we lived in different states at one point, and it was hard to get to see all the games. But, after I moved down and I lived closer, I was able to catch most of the games. And, we were estranged to some degree, but, we always had sports in common. So I would go to the games and I'd watch him play.
That's cool. And then Georgia Tech, you went from high school and you did pretty well, but then you went to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
What was your career like? I mean,
I wasn't a super well-known guy. I wasn't a Calvin Johnson or anybody like that, but I was a guy they knew they could count on. And I guess if you said I had a successful career, sure, I was captain. And in high school, I started varsity as a freshman, both ways, and I was kind of the man, and then went off to Georgia Tech and had a great time there, a great career there, and did some great things, but I never thought I would make it this far. I mean, honestly, I shouldn't have made it this far. It was just, I just worked hard, and I stuck my nose in there, and I put my head and had no fear, and people love that.
And you ended up being, most people may not know this, you were undrafted, didn't even get drafted.
Yeah.
Falcons picked you up, and then you got signed with the Saints, right? But what was Sean Payton like? We saw just a little bit, there's a lot of question, a lot of debate. I think he came from the Cowboys too.
Yeah, he did.
I think he did. Okay,
he
I was
got
just
away
curious.
from that era, so that's good.
But what was he like? I mean, what's he like? Was he?
He's a great coach because I think he has the football knowledge, but every coach in the NFL has that knowledge. I think what he has is he senses the heartbeat of a team better than any coach I've ever. So he knows when we're up, when we're down, when we're being arrogant, when we're being too confident, too cocky. He takes what the media has and says, "Oh, you can't play in cold weather," and he uses it to make something funny out of it, to lighten the mood. And he has that uncanny ability to take a situation and make it where we can understand it, and where we want to go out and we want to play for him, and he lightens the mood, and it's great to play for a coach like that.
The reason I ask that is because not having a dad growing up, I mean, again, it's great in the book. If you really need to get the book just to understand a lot more than we can cover today, and we're going to get into that in just a second, but because you were estranged, you weren't there, was it important having coaches in your life? Was it important to have, mentors? And, what was that like? Or who was it that really sticks out in your mind that was impactful in your life?
Sure, I think, growing up as a kid, you don't really realize that you need your dad or that you need that father figure in your life. My dad, he left when I was 2 years old, so I don't really ever remember him and my mom being together. I don't ever remember what a right relationship really looked like. And I think sports was my identity, and so I had some great coaches that poured into me, and more than just on a sports basis. I had one coach, and we would work out in his backyard. It was like a little dungy, crappy gym. I mean, it was terrible. We would lift weights in there, and it would be rusty and stuff. But before we would lift, there'd be about 5 of us. Before we would lift, he would come in, and we would just open up the Bible, and he would just start reading, and he would do a little Bible study just to pour into us. And I had no idea what was going on then, but those little seeds, little did I know, would not just affect me, but affect my dad and our entire family.
Yeah, Mike, now tell me about that, because obviously, you left it when he was 2, but
Right.
there's a lot more to that story, because tell me about you and your dad, because it really goes back.
Yeah, it does. My dad and I, we didn't have a very good relationship at all. As a matter of fact, the last 20 years of his life, for the most part, we never spoke. We didn't see each other, even though he lived just a few miles away from me. And actually, he was the kind of dad. He was a blue-collar guy, big guy. He expected a lot out of me, but he was a guy that worked with his hands, and I was a guy that wanted to work with my mind. So, he would put me down a lot, and as much as I tried to please him, I couldn't. And so we became estranged later on in life. He was emotionally abusive. He was physically and emotionally abusive to my mom. And so we just didn't have a great relationship at all. And it wasn't until my dad came down with pancreatic cancer about 4 years ago. And I got a call from my sister. And she said, I want to let you know that your dad, that dad is dying. he's probably got about 6 months to live. And I had to make a decision right there and then what I was going to do. And I made the decision to forgive him.
Wow.
And so I spent the last 6 months of his life by his side, and I was there when he died.
Wow, you know, and yeah, if you have somebody they're trying to clap, that's pretty amazing. Well, because those things that happened in your childhood affected the way, again, you led your life.
Right.
And then at the same time, it's like now, you know, you're kind of reconciling, you're working on those things, but there is still a little bit more to the story, because one thing I want to kind of touch on is the single mom part of it. Is but when he was gone, your mom was a rock.
Yeah, she was the rock of our family. It was me and my brother, older brother, and my mom for the longest time. And we would, you know, it would just be us. And she worked, she was a school teacher, you know, didn't get paid a lot of money in Atlanta public school. She was the only white woman in the school. And so she was tough. She was tough as nails, and she was tough on us. But man, it was amazing to see how she persevered. And she never once talked bad about my dad. Even though he left us and walked out on us, she never once talked bad about my dad. And she would always tell us and push us, say, hey, you need to have a relationship with your father. You need to talk to him on the phone. You need to go see him. And so I admire her now. I didn't understand it then, but I admire her now for the courage and humility that it took to do something like that, to put yourself aside and to put your kids first, and their relationship with their father is truly amazing.
And to add to that, I mean, she's a remarkable woman. I give her all the credit for the way Chris turned out, as well as his older brother. And you know, like Chris said, she was, you know, always encouraging them to have a relationship with me. You know, I walked out on them. Chris was 2 years old. His older brother, Mike, was 4 years old. And I walked out on them for a woman that I met in a bar. Now, this woman blessed me with 2 great children after that, and we were married for 19 years, and that's a whole nother story of the dysfunction and all the things that we went through. But throughout all of that, Chris's mom was amazing. And she could have done so many things, because, you know, she was hurt. I hurt her deeply. We were high school sweethearts. You know, we married at 19. And, you know, she always put the boys first. And for that, I thank her always. I've asked her for forgiveness as well. And we have a great relationship now.
You know what's amazing about that, too, is there's a little more, too, because there was some abuse in your past, too, as a young person. And again, there's a lot of people in here that sometimes people point the finger, or they say things about someone when they don't really know what's going on or really what the root issue is.
That's right.
And so if you could, can you give us just a little bit more on some of those things? Because of those things that happened, it really caused you to do, or, you know, led to you living out some of the things that you're not proud of.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to understand your past. It doesn't give you an excuse for your behavior, but it does help explain why certain things happen. But, you know, I started drinking at a very young age. My grandfather, I grew up on the tough streets of Chicago. My grandfather would take me down to the corner tavern, put me on the bar stool, and I loved it. I just thought that was amazing, you know, because everybody was friendly. Everybody had a great time, and I had my first beer and shot. I was about 6 years old. At the same time, what was going on was, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
then,
everybody kind of had a chuckle on that.
It's all right.
Whoa, here's my 6-year-old.
I am not complaining at all.
You just got done with kindergarten. Here you go.
Here, congratulations, you've graduated. So, but after that, the other thing that was going on that no one was aware of was that my grandmother, his wife, was sexually abusing me. And she did that over the course of the next couple of years. And throughout all that, I was constantly being put down verbally, sexually, obviously. And those things had a tremendous impact on me because, you know, it created this low self-esteem. It created this desire for wanting more. So I started drinking heavily at the age of 13. I combined that with sex. In high school, I became addicted to alcohol, to sex. You know, I was always trying to fill myself up with something more. I kept searching and searching and searching. And those early years developed the kind of person that I became later, that it was all about me. It was all about what it took for me to be happy, or at least what I thought would make me happy.
You know, this is why in the Area 51 series, I want them here, is you won't find any guys, you know, these guys are real. You guys keep it real and you're transparent. And the reason I want them to share their stories because there are many people just like that sitting in here watching, maybe watching online.
Yeah, we all have something.
Yeah, we do. And that's why I appreciate you sharing it, because that's not the end of the story.
No, it keeps going.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
what's so cool about it. And some people think, well, I'm here and this is it. I'm like, no, man, there's a future and there is a hope.
Oh, there's tremendous hope.
That's right.
You know, I mean, honestly, for me, first, I always say that it's a miracle I'm even alive and that I'm here. I certainly don't deserve to be, based on the things that I've done in my past, but there's always hope. And I am the last person that ever expected not only to have a son that played in the Super Bowl, but to be sitting in front of all these great people, sharing my story and talking about God. One of my best friends said to me not too long ago, said, Mike, could you have imagined 10 years ago that you'd be on a stage talking to a congregation? And I said, 10 years ago, I'd have fallen off my bar stool and I'd have ordered a double immediately,
Right.
because no way should I be in this chair.
Wow, it's amazing. One of the things that I want to go back to just real quick, because we'll continue our story in just a second, but is there are also a lot of single moms in here.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to kind of touch on that. But could you or would you give them advice, you know, just to kind of help them through what they're going through?
Yeah, it's. I think that's a tough thing, honestly. We speak all across the country, and anytime we tell our story, all the women come up to me and they said, "I have a son," or "I'm a single mom. Like, how did your mom raise such good kids?" Or "What did she do right?" And I think if my mom had to answer it, she would say, "I don't even know what I did."
Right.
But I think we hit on it, was that she always put us first, and not in the sense of sacrificing herself, but sacrificing her feelings. Meaning, she didn't like him, she didn't want to be around him, but she knew, you know what, if it's for my kids and it's for the betterment of them, then I'm going to do that. And I think if I had one advice, that would be it. That if you're mad at your ex-husband and whatever he's done, put that aside, because the kids, they have to have a relationship with their dad. They have to see that. If not, it's gonna hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, and it's important to understand too that, you know, the things that you say about your spouse, first of all, you're entitled to those feelings. I mean, those are real, those are human, and you should feel that way. And like Chris said, put that aside. But understand that the things that you say to your kids today will impact them tomorrow. And not only that, it'll impact their kids and their families for generations to come. So it's really important as parents for us to be very careful, but especially you've been wounded to a degree that, you know, you think that nobody can understand how much I hurt. Put your kids first, and remember, that's your legacy. That's how your family is going to develop for generations.
You know, it is powerful too, because so many people, they don't know what to do. And because of their hurt, that's one of the things I just challenge you with, encourage you, and you'll see is you got to get some help. You got to be honest. Right. If there is no truth and you don't deal with that, man, then it's really difficult to take the next step to move on and to
right. And that's what I tried to do for years, was to medicate that with alcohol. I was addicted to sex. During I call it my 20-year party. It was the marriage that I had before this one. I've been divorced twice, married 3 times, but you know, I take full responsibility because I forced this deviant sexual lifestyle on my second wife. And, you know, that was all just an attempt to keep covering all that up.
Wow, man, this is what's so cool about it, is because I know that in this room, again, you know, there are people that are trying to figure that out. They have an Area 51 in their life, and they don't know what to do. And it is so important, man, to just deal with it, to be truthful, to be honest, so that you can begin to, again, experience freedom. So before we go into all that, let me give you one other thing. And this is for them, because this is an unchurched group a lot of times. I mean, we're a kind of an outlaw church. We don't really, you know, have a lot of the traditional backgrounds of a lot of people. But do you have a lot of church background? Did y'all have a lot of church background growing up? I'll start with you, Mike.
No, I had no church background at all. As a matter of fact, you know, I knew of Jesus. I didn't really know anything about him. We were twice a year. We weren't even Christians. We would just go on Easter and Christmas. That was about it. You know, and one of the things that bothered me, and the reason I stayed out of the church until I was 47 years old, was because I felt judged and I felt condemned, and I didn't feel like I could measure up. And that's the way the church made me feel. And if that's the way they were going to make me feel, I already felt that way. Why do I need to go somewhere on Sunday and have somebody make me feel worse about me? So no, I didn't have any church background.
So then that leads to you, Chris. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, my mom tried to do the best she could. We grew up Catholic, and I think it was tough. And for me, I'm saying this for me, Catholicism didn't really strike a chord in my heart, unfortunately. And I think, we went, me and my brothers, we would sit in the pew and we would make fun of the altar boys, laughing at their dresses. And we just didn't get it.
Sounds like me and my brother.
Yeah, pretty much.
Both pastors now.
Exactly. Yeah, both pastors. That's fun. We walk up and see this guy on a cross. I didn't really understand who Jesus was. I didn't get the stand up, the sitting down, the kneeling, the stand up, the sit down, the stand up, the sit down, the kneeling, the stand up, and the chanting. And I didn't really get it. I just didn't get it. And middle school comes, and my mom could see me and my brother were kind of fading away from the church. And at that time, we were bigger than her. And we could say, we're not going. Right. And that's what we would say. We're like, I'm not waking up. We're not going. We didn't like it. And then my mom, she got desperate, and she said, okay, well, I have a friend, and he keeps telling me to come to his church, and it was a Baptist church. And talk about night and day. I mean, it's funny, because the church is like a 16th of this size of this room. I mean, it's tiny, built in the 1800s. I walk in literally 5 minutes before it happened, 5 minutes before the service started. It's me, my brother, and my mom, and the pastor's sitting in the front row. There's no one else in this place. 0 people. And we walk in, I'm like, where are we right now? And I'm like, this is so lame. And they're wooden pews, and we sit down in the front row, and the pastor's like, welcome. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, where are we? And honestly, the service starts, and there's still nobody in there. And out from the back, all the choir people come in their robes, and they walk up.
You know where the deacons were? They were out smoking.
Yeah,
they're in the back. I grew up Baptist. I can say that. Don't judge me. You know what I'm saying? And Catholic.
So the choir comes in,
right?
And there's like 40 people in the choir, and they wind up, and they sing songs to the 3 of us that are sitting there, and
you're like,
I'm like, where are we right now? And the songs get done, and they get down, and and everybody sits in the pews, and that's the whole congregation right there.
Wow, man.
Talk about preaching to the choir.
Yeah, that's preaching to the choir for sure.
No. And honestly, that day I had no idea what I was in for, because I heard the pastor get up and lay down a message that it wasn't like grandiose, and it wasn't crazy, but I heard about a man named Jesus for the first time in my life. I've been going to church my whole life, and I finally knew the story. And it was unbelievable. And I wasn't one of those guys to jump into my faith right away. I wasn't going to say, yes, Lord, right now. But I needed to figure out what it was.
And at that point, again, it was just the seeds. And this is why I say to all of you, man, if you're bringing your kids to church, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with your kids. Thank you for, again, just planting the seeds, because it does matter. We don't know when, we don't know how, but God is at work, and He's in people's lives, and it matters that you're here. I don't care how broken or how jacked up you are, just come in and make them a part of it. Because again, it led to you coming to Christ, which again, eventually led to your dad. But tell us, how did you come to Christ? What is the story behind that?
Yeah, me being the athlete and finding my identity and how I performed, that was who I was. And, around the middle school time, me and my brother, we were best friends. When my dad walked out, it was me and him. I looked up to him, and he started going down a wrong path and started really hurting our family, and we just clashed, honestly. And I could see how upset my mom was, And I remember after one of their big fights, my mom and my brother would get in these huge fights. And I remember kind of coming in. I'm 10 years old at the time, and I sit on the corner of her bed, and my mom's just crying because she doesn't know what to do. And I look at her and I said, Mom, I'm going to be somebody someday. I'm 10 years old. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to be somebody someday, and I'm not going to make you hurt like he's making you hurt. And right there, it changed my life for the rest of for forever, because right then I decided whatever my brother did, I was going to do the exact opposite. He made bad grades, I made good grades, He did the wrong thing, I did the right thing. So I ended up being this golden child, the perfect son that I'm so proud of this son, but I'm not proud of that son, and I got my worth and my value by people saying how good I was and clapping for me and saying it was so performance driven, and from the outside in, you could say, this guy looks amazing, but inside, I was hurting so bad because the weight of the world is on my shoulders, and it was just bearing down on me, and that's when I really started to search my faith. And it wasn't until my senior year in high school, in August of 2001, I'm driving home in my car after a hot day. You guys in Louisiana know how it is. In Georgia, it's the same way. It's hot, right? Training camp. And man, I had a bad practice. Nothing is really wrong. I'm trying to figure out where to go to college. I got scholarship offers from Auburn, UNC, Northwestern. And I remember I'm driving in my car, and all of a sudden, I just start breaking down. And I just lost it. I absolutely just lost it. And it wasn't like God sent a burning bush or a burning car, for that matter, or anything else. It wasn't an audible sound, but it was just like, God's like, just surrender it to me. You know you can't do it on your own. It was the first time I remember in my life actually praying an authentic prayer that was just like, God, I need you. And it was right there in my car. I gave my life to Christ and said, I just surrender to you and what your will is, because I don't want to do this on my own anymore. And though my dad was in a deep, deep, dark pit and I was on this high pedestal that looked really good, neither one of us had Jesus at that time. And it's all empty, no matter how you slice it. And so I came to Christ then, and I remember I drove home, and on that same corner of the bed that I told my mom that I was going to be somebody someday, I looked at her and I said, Mom, today I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior. And she said, you are somebody today, Chris.
Wow.
You know, and it was like, it changed my life.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Really, really cool to me because, you know, sometimes in church, we think of an altar call or we think it has to be this way or this experience. But what I want to say to each and every person, none of us, you know, make that happen. The Holy Spirit in that moment, in a car, alone, drew you. He brought you to himself. And I say that because, man, it could be the dark of the theater, it could be driving home, that could be your bedroom. I don't know where it is, but God loves us so much that he finds you. Even when you're trying to put on this persona, man, I got it all together.
That's right.
He sees through it all and gets to you, man. It's so cool to me. And I just want to remind you of that, man. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're trying to pretend to be perfect or you're on the other extreme, man. He still comes to us to remind us. Now, Mike, tell us the same thing about your story. And again, understanding you didn't have a lot of church background, we'll just kind of fast forward a little bit on your spiritual journey.
Sure, I had no church background, like I said, and I thought, I heard, you know, that Chris was getting more involved in FCA and Young Life and things like that. I thought that was great because I thought, wow, that's a really good social thing. You know, that's good on a resume. I thought, well, that's perfect. And so I really had no understanding at all. My background is that, you know, I didn't think that I could ever be good enough for God. You know, I thought that I had to clean up all my mess, all the hurt, all the pain that I caused, the domestic violence, the drinking and the infidelity and the porn and everything that I was involved in. And I thought, how could God ever love me? I'm not lovable. My earthly father didn't love me. Why would I think that my heavenly father would love me? So I thought, well, and I can't clean up all my mess. I can't. It's not possible. So I just decided to do whatever I wanted to do. And so I lived that lifestyle. And it wasn't until, it was after the Clemson game, 2005, Chris was the president of the FCA, that he invites me to this event. Now, what I didn't know was it was church. Because if I had known it was church, I would have run in the other direction.
Right.
Thank goodness they didn't put up a cross or anything like that.
Right.
And what happened was I walked in, and I knew something was different. I could feel the Holy Spirit, but I didn't know that's what it was until much later. But what I did notice was people were laughing and they were smiling. You know, they weren't asking me for money.
Right.
You know, they didn't have their hand in my pocket, but they had something that I wanted. They had peace and they had joy. Right. And it was at this event, Chris was hosting it, and he was up there and he was doing his thing. And, you know, I have to tell you, I'm more proud of the man Chris is today and what he's accomplished off the field than anything he's ever done on the field. That's just the kind of guy he is. And I walked in and sat down, and I heard the gospel for the first time in my life. And I heard about this overwhelming love, the love of a father that for those of us that didn't have that relationship with our earthly father, wait a minute, I can have this relationship with God through his son Jesus. And that's the first time I ever heard that. Sure. So as I'm listening to this, I felt as if God put his arms around me and he said, Mike, it's time to come home.
Wow.
And it was right there that I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior. And it was after this event, Chris sees me, and he doesn't know how I'm going to be, right? Because he sees me cry, and I never cried up to that point. Now I cry all the time. I'm a big baby. But, you know, because I had stuffed all those emotions for years and years. But Chris comes up to me, and I said, Chris, tell me more about this Jesus thing. I have no idea. And for the next 3 months, at least, 3 or 4 months, Chris discipled me we went through the Bible. I started at the beginning because I thought it was like a regular book. So I started in Genesis. I barely got through all the begots. I couldn't figure that out.
He didn't make it easy on me.
And I didn't make it easy. I was asking him really challenging questions. But it was just an amazing time that we came together. Now, I tell everybody that, if this were a movie, I accepted Christ, all my addictions were gone, and hallelujah, everything is perfect in my life. My life got dramatically worse because a lot of things happened after that. And that's all part of it, because you have to accept responsibility for all your bad choices and your poor decisions. But I can't imagine life today not having taken that first step of accepting Christ.
One thing you said before, too, that I think is really key is, and we're hinting on it, you gave your life to Christ. It didn't just automatically turn on. Your addictions didn't just disappear.
No. Because, see, I thought my addictions were about me, and it was personal. I didn't think that what I was doing was hurting anyone else or God or my family or anything else. So, I was still hanging on to something. I had turned the corner morally, but I was still drinking a lot, and actually my drinking escalated. Because again, I thought that was okay. I think as Christians, a lot of times we give ourselves to Christ, but we want to hang on to something, because you know why? We don't fully trust God with everything in our life. Because we're justified at the foot of the cross, but at the same time, we've got to walk it out each and every day, because you got to do life.
Right.
And so, I wasn't willing to give that up. And it wasn't until after the Super Bowl that I finally fully surrendered to God, everything that I have.
That was like 5 years, 4 years? How long was that?
It's 4 years now. Yeah. The last drink that I ever had was on February 21st, 2010. And if you remember, that's only 2 weeks after the Super Bowl.
Wow. Come on, man. Give him a little love on that. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
The reason I want you to come back tonight is because we're going to do some more Q&A, but they're going to share more from their heart tonight, 6 o'clock upstairs in the ballroom, because we cannot cover it all. I mean, there's so much in the book, too. If you want that help, you need to do it. But I got to ask a couple more questions, so hang in there before you get impatient with me. And let me just ask this. Okay. There's a phrase that is attached to who you guys are and what you're about, and that is live for more. What does that mean? What does that encompass?
Yeah. I think many times, I think my dad hit on it, is that we have the head knowledge of Christ, and maybe not even the head knowledge, as more as just I know who Jesus is, and maybe I accepted him. But the hardest thing is to actually do it, to apply it, and that's not about perfection, but about direction, where your life is pointing towards. And so living for more simply is just living for more than yourself, because we get caught up in our own circumstances, and the culture says it's all about you, and it's all about your money, and it's all about being successful, and it's all about what the culture says is correct. But God says, love me and love everybody else. And so our goal is for people to see, live for more than what this world has to offer, live for more than yourself, and you'll never miss that stuff, because it is so fleeting and so fading. And you get outside of your circumstances and you serve and you love other people, and you realize it actually affects you more than you think.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, the idea is to live intentionally each and every day. I mean, get up every day and thank God for the opportunity to live for him and to direct your life as that. And, you don't have to be up on a stage. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to do that. You can just, that's the little things that you do for people, whether it's a smile or holding open a door or that kind of thing. Right. You can always do something. It makes a difference. And if you live for more than just yourself, you just have you find your purpose. You find, what God put you on this earth for. And that is better than any day I ever had, drinking, doing sex, whatever. It's just amazing.
Awesome. Here's the last question for you, maybe. Okay. I don't know. I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I just feel it. What do you want to be known for? I mean, again, some not so good. Now some it's like it's the Super Bowl recovery. And, what is it that, man, when it's all said and done, you go, man, this is what I hope they remember?
Yeah, I think, it's crazy because a lot of people know me for that recovery. But I also know a lot of guys who made a lot of big plays and Super Bowls and stuff, and they're forgotten about 10, 15 years down the road. Yeah. Their name may be in a book, and my name may be in a book and an article forever or wherever it is. But honestly, where I want to be known is at home. I want to be known as the best husband and the best father that I can be, because, that is my life, and I want to serve them,
There's your family right there, man.
My Piper.
That's my little girl. She's 2. She's Piper. That's my little son.
The
He's
Saints
6 months
already have
old.
their eyes on him, I think.
Wow, dude, that's
So
awesome.
it's I'm just so blessed to be able, and we're not like a spiritual family where I'm like, Piper, we need to read Psalms 59, and let's sit down and read. I want to pour into her. I want to tell her how beautiful she is. I want to tell her how much she's valued, not just by me, but by God. I want to tell my son how courageous he is and how brave he is and how God made him in his image and in his likeness. Wow. I don't want to just preach it to them. I want to live it for them and show them by the way that I walk, way that I talk, the way that I care for people, and the way that I serve my wife, because that's the biggest thing I want them to see, how I serve her, and that's my goal, first and foremost. Yeah. That's my legacy.
That's awesome. Mike, I'll give you the same opportunity,
Sure.
bro.
Yeah, I want to be known as the guy that showed others that it's never too late to become the man or the woman that God intended you to be. That that you can live for more. I want to be known as the guy that took his sin and laid it out there for the world to see. And I'm hoping that you see a piece of yourself in my story and in our story, and it inspires you to make changes in your life. And I want to pour into men especially, because men, you have a huge responsibility as a spiritual leader of your family, and what you do will affect your family and their family for generations to come. And I hope I'm remembered as that guy.
Wow, man. How cool is this? What? All right, one other thing.
Yeah.
It's been staring at me this whole time.
I know, right?
Might be too heavy for you.
I just want to see this.
I don't know. You're
ring.
not in that good of a shape. Can you hold
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Dude.
Do you want me to stand you up?
You seen these guns right here? Let me just look at it, dude.
No.
Let me just look
Okay,
at it. I'm
are
a
you sure?
lust. God forgive me.
Is it going to burn your hands if I give it to you? Or?
Somebody get a picture.
Let's risk it.
Okay, let's risk it.
Dude, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Very blessed.
Did we convert you?
Yeah.
Look right there, man.
I think we have a new Saints
I think
fan
he's
in
a
the
hoot-
house.
he's a hoodah. Hoodah.
We'll take you. We'll take you.
You will?
Yeah, the Who Dat Nation,
You're
we
an
take
honorary
anybody.
member.
That's the cool
Understand.
thing. We don't
You're
even
an honorary
care.
fan.
That's a good thing.
We're
'cause,
like the
you know-
gospel. It's like whosoever. You know?
Yeah, there you go. I'll try it.
You just have to say a prayer.
I do. What is the prayer? The Who Dat prayer?
Who Dat anthem.
Who Dat? Right, there you go. Pretty awesome, man.
You wear it for the rest of the time, brother.
Dude,
you go
man,
ahead
look
and
at
wear
there,
it.
dude. I don't feel worthy, bro. I don't feel
Look at
worthy.
You look
How
so cool in it too right now.
Yeah,
look at
man.
you.
Look at that, dude. I'm kind of like a
You don't
kid.
even realize you talk more with your hands now. Look at it.
Well,
He's
ladies
like,
and gentlemen, I'm glad y'all joined us today.
It's all right. That's the way you walk through the airport.
How cool is that? All right, give them some love, man. If you had a good time with them, what? Come on, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys,
Absolutely.
bro. Thanks, Mike. Great job.
thank you.
Give it up for, give it up tonight, 6
Thank you.
o'clock.
We'll see y'all.
Who Dat? Sit down for 1 second before you go, because I want to pray for you. And the reason I want to pray for you is this, dude. It's no accident you're here. I'm not going to try to bait and switch you. I just want to keep it real with you and say this. Dude, you're in a place where it is okay to not be okay. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your struggles are, but the Jesus that saved them is the same Jesus that's available to each and every one of us. And dude, I just want to lead us in a simple prayer. Would you pray with me? God, I know that in this room there is hurt, there's addiction, there's brokenness, there's pain. And at a time like this, God, we've been inspired and encouraged because we see just how good you are. Your grace extends to each and every part of our life. And God, I pray that right now you would remind that person, whoever they are, that walked in here looking for that it's them. It's not someone, it's not the person sitting next to them. It's specifically for them. The gospel, the cross, the blood of Jesus is for them. That you love them so much as the Heavenly Father that you are to go to a cross and sacrifice it all for them. And God, you tell us we have to admit our mistakes. You have to admit that we're a sinner. We have to admit that we're messed up. And God, for many of us in here, that's easy, God, because we know we're screwed up. We know we've made so many mistakes. We're not proud of them. We're just trying to figure out what to do. And God, you tell us that's very important, to be real, to keep it real, to be authentic. And then you also tell us that we have to believe that you are who you say you are, that you came to this earth, you lived a perfect life, you died on the cross for us. You shed your blood, and it's personal. It's not for my mom, it's not for my dad, it's not for Chris and Mike and Justin. It's for me. And I accept that today, God. I believe you, and I trust you with my life, and I commit myself to you. Lord, it's about not just praying a one-time prayer, but God, it's about, from this point on, letting you guide me, direct me in my life, how to be a better dad, how to be a better husband, how to be a better man, a better woman, a better mom, whatever it may be, a better student. God, and on our own, we cannot do it. So, God, I'm asking for your help as we walk with you, that we would stay committed to following you and trusting you with every area of our life. I thank you again for the realness, for the authenticity of the guys on this stage, because that's who you are, God. That's what you're about. And I thank you for that. We love you, Jesus, and I can't wait to see the lives that are impacted and changed as a result of it. In Jesus' name, amen. Did you have a good time today? What? One more time, give it up for my boys, Mike and Chris Reese. Come on, y'all. We're going to end a little different on your way out today. I usually give you a little piece, but we're going to go a little who dat for all you haters out there. 1, 2, 3, who dat? See ya tonight if you can make it. If not, next week. Peace.